And here we go for the last part of our activity, which is to design the gear housing. Once everything is modeled and drawn and revised, we need to enter or correct some information in the standard part log. Right? And what we're going to try to do is show that you know how to add new items to a standard part log. So let's take a look at how we're going to do that. First, let's go to the part log, okay, and look and see how a housing is called out and how we might work on the revised gears. So I'm going to do it a little bit in reverse for that. I'm going to look on the revised gears, and I see that this is the pinion and this is the driven. Now, I haven't changed the blank, but I've made a change to this gear, so I'm going to make a note there. It says I've made Rev B changed tolerance. And that way people just kind of have a clue of what happened there. Okay? And you say was plus minus 0.010 and is plus 0. Sorry. Yeah, plus 0 minus 0.010. And that lets somebody know. Okay? From here on out, when they use that gear number, they're going to get this. And that's one of the ways that you work on change control. So I'll notice that that my make from is still the same, still the gear blank. Okay. Now, if you used different numbers, that's okay. Right? And you'll have to put in your numbers for the driven gear. So there should be something here too. So that's how you take account of it. And I'm just going to write that Rev B and let you describe what happened there. Okay, so that's how you take care of the existing ones that you've just changed. You do not need a new part number. You're just going to note what the change is. Now, however, and this gear set will remain the same too. Okay? And you don't really need to do these because you're just calling those out and you're not calling out tolerances on your gear set drawing. And none of these things have changed. Now, let's take a look and see what's next. Okay, let's note how the housing is called out. The housing is for a gear. It's a gear housing. And what's important is that pinion ID, driven ID, thickness, and center distance. So again, we'll be able to work with all of those different variations then if we change those for a different gear set using a similar design. So you're going to put in here what you're going to make it from. I'm going to do an example. Alloy steel. 4140. You're welcome to use that same thing. And now we have to tell them where do we go to get this, right? Here we went and bought a gear blank. It was a purchased part. And so where are we going to get this chunk of steel to make the housing from? We have to figure that out. Well, I'm going to let you know something like that that's 3/4 of an inch thick is either called steel sheet or steel plate. And you can buy it in any number of sizes, 2 foot by 2 foot, 4 foot by 8 foot, 8 foot by 20 foot, all 3/4 inch thick. Okay, and it's going to be that very same material. So here my housing would be made from some huge chunk of steel. It's going to be made from 330.16. So if I wanted to make this, I would go get a chunk of that. Now in the notes, usually you're going to say how much. So maybe I'll write 6 by 6. 6 inches by 6 inches. Or whatever the number is. You have to actually do that on your own. You have to read the drawing and put that in. Please do not just copy me. This is not a class at this point where you're just going to copy. You need to go look at the housing drawing, find out how big it is, and put that size down here in the notes. Okay? And we already know that it's 3/4 of an inch thick, or whatever number it says on your drawing. I'm giving you examples here. Okay? So that's pretty much how you get this done. So I'm gonna erase a bunch of this information now. It's for you to kind of review on the video, but I'm not gonna put it in here. You're gonna have to go back and put all of that good information in on your own. Okay, you put in the notes for the pinion, for the driven gear, and for the housing, and the sheet of steel, or whatever it is that you've chosen to make yours